Good old Sneaky Pete. Pete Buttigieg.
Mayo Pete. Pete the
Great
Cheat.
nickname.
Sneaky Pete.
I like that.
Sneaky Pete. And why are we
makes
calling
me like him more, actually. Sneaky Pete.
Premium package
Sneaky
Pete.
Sneaky Pete? No, not really, because, you know, let's
I
remember.
imagine being like a little mouse, like scampering
He is
around.
kind of little mouse scampering
Yeah.
around.
He is.
Hey, Sneaky Pete.
Hey, Sneaky
He,
Pete, how
he
are
has
you?
coronavirus too.
Oh,
Him
God.
too.
Ugh.
Yeah, well, he went to Iowa, you know?
Oh, yeah. Whoa, hey, we brought it all full circle.
They're eating all those. The Iowa farmers aren't happy. First they have the droughts. Now they have all the peat mice running around eating their corn.
Little
Yeah.
Sneaky Pete's running around.
Little Sneaky Pete, yeah.
That's every time. No, that's the thing. Every time if you live in a major city, every time you see a rat, oh look, a Sneaky Pete.
Sneaky Pete.
Sneaky Pete,
See,
yeah.
now he seems cute, right?
No.
Well, until
Okay.
he starts grabbing pizza that's yours, then it's like, oh, that's my pizza.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah. Can't have that.
Can't have that.
Can't have that. But see, I think it's important that we talk about Pete Buttigieg because, as we mentioned on yesterday's show, he's connected, his campaign is connected to the app that hilariously failed during the Iowa caucus. So, Daniel, tell us about good old Pete Buttigieg.
So we were talking a little earlier about how Joe Biden, I mean, just ate dirt completely. I mean, had like the worst outcome he could possibly have. I mean, he could have technically like gone behind Amy Klobuchar, but that didn't happen. So instead, let's talk about Pete and this victory that he thinks he won that is really like, oh, I won a golden trophy. No, it's just crap covered in like tinfoil. So let's talk about it. The thing about victory speech generally is that it requires a victory. But when this year's Iowa caucus didn't produce one, Pete Buttigieg claimed the win as his anyway. Pete Buttigieg strutted on stage, smiling confidently as his well-prepared supporters chanted, "Buttigieg, Sneaky Pete."
Sneaky Pete. Sneaky Pete.
Behind him, and in this very first sentence declared that an improbable hope became an undeniable reality. We're not going to win this, guys. I mean, no, that's not what he said. We don't know all the results. Pete added in a riff that was, like the rest of the speech, designed to evoke former President Barack Obama, except none of the former voters of Barack Obama are, going to vote for him. And, well, yeah. Buttigieg apparently saw enough to feel like he could go hard. Iowa chose a new path. He announced American democracy has taken another credibility hit through the cockamamie collapse of the caucus that, you helped collapse because of your involvement in the app that
Cockamamie
caused
collapse of the caucus. Cockamamie
collapse.
collapse of the caucus. Cockamamie collapse of the caucus. Wow, that's hard to say.
Wow, that's
That's
a lot
amazing,
of,
Daniel.
Hey,
Wow.
Pete is very good at memorizing things, very good at doing what he's told, and he was told to say it, so that's what he said. His campaign was aware of how much he'd annoy other candidates by undercutting them. Now, I want to make a point on this. We covered a story about a week ago on how his team and the mainstream media and a bunch of other people had put out a couple articles that were like, we think that Bernie Sanders, before the final results are coming in, is going to announce his victory, which is going to affect the results of the caucus. He better not do that. That terrible Bernie Sanders, always announcing victory before victory is going to happen, as Pete literally announces victory before victory happened. Anyway, but staffers were willing to take the backlash for the sake of breaking through to voters who just wanted a sense of who won. So I want to put this out there again. We talked a little earlier in the show. Pete needs Iowa to be anywhere relevant. His entire strategy basically boils down to win Iowa, use that momentum to win New Hampshire, magic happens, win the primary. And that's so he needed this from his point of view. He knows that Bernie's winning the popular. They're getting the same number of official delegates. But that's, he's just going to do it. So, peak white male privileges, tweeted Mina Harris, the niece of Senator Kamala Harris. Good to hear from her. Another Democratic presidential candidate until she suspended her campaign in December, because apparently people have forgotten her already, which may not be a bad thing, is declaring victory with 0% of precincts reporting, which is exactly what he did, and exactly what he told Bernie Sanders, threatened Bernie Sanders even not to do. The Buttigieg and Sanders campaigns were the only ones to release any results last night, because again, this article was done the day after. Compiled by precinct captains at sites around the state, Sanders' numbers showed him in first place, and Buttigieg in second. Though the figures were clearly incomplete, Buttigieg's data also seemed hazy, full of fudges, much like his campaign, I suppose. and also mice. We've also established there's a lot of mice in his campaign.
Nice, yeah.
So, but by the time Buttigieg left Iowa in the middle of the night, his campaign was one on a limp, hoping that by the time the state Democrat sorts out what's going on, he'll have come in first or at least second. Well, he's going to come in one of the two. So, and I just hope it lasts. So here he is, scampering into the twilight, hoping that the thing that he said he told other people not to do that he did will be truthful for a different reason. Because when he called out Sanders, it was because, hey, Sanders is going to win and he's going to get a better edge. When Pete Buttigieg did it, it's because he's trying to just will reality into existence, which something I don't approve of.
Okay,
Guys,
so I want to give a special shout out to the super chat right now. Henry Volt, 35, $2. Pompous Pete. I love that. That makes a lot of sense because Pete Buttigieg has been on this arrogant streak so far, claiming victory when there's no victory at all for him. And in fact, even Jimmy Dore pointed out in a short video where he's smiling and walking past reporters, yet people are asking him questions because you want to know why he's not answering, why he's smiling, why he has that shit smiling grin on his face. Because he doesn't have a clear answer, because he doesn't have a plan, and more importantly, remember, his campaign is tied to Shadow. That's the name of the organization that created this app. They might as well have called it Shady, or In the Background, or Behind Closed Doors with Smoke.
Don't look over here.
Don't look over here.
don't look over here, Inc.
don't, you know, I mean, think about it. This is the kind of person, and we even mentioned this too, and correct me if I'm wrong on the numbers, but his campaign, or people associated with the campaign, put $42,500 worth into this app. Into this app that screwed up in Iowa. That's Pete Buttigieg? This is like a guy that people are saying, oh, yeah, he did such a great job. No, he didn't. He made a premature victory speech, and now it's going to cost him.
I just want to say very quickly before we hand it over to Kira, I want to get on the action. I'm getting all excited. I'm going to pull a Pete. Look at this $100 bill I have in my hands right now. Oh,
You blind fool! That's $500.
No, I mean, this is definitely. Oh, no, you're right. It's $1,000. It's $1,000 bill in my hand right now.
You know these new age millennials who think that they can just speak things into existence. Right?
Yeah.
I don't think that's exactly what Pete was trying to do. I think really what he was trying to do is something I believe in marketing that they call the bandwagon tactic, right? Which is like just have everybody believing something, and then that
just please don't look at the official results.
Don't look. Don't look here.
Just snowballs itself, and then that's what everybody believes. And it's a very Trumpian tactic. This is what Donald Trump does with the media. He comes out, he says. I mean, if you listen to that speech by Pete, his confidence inside of that is like 100%. And that is on purpose because he wants everybody listening to that to just say, okay, well, I guess that was Iowa. We're moving on. Nope. And then that's the reality that lives in the dominant narrative instead of what's actually happening right now, which is not all of the results are in, and he's at a neck-and-neck tie with Sanders.
And even the media also has to acknowledge this, too.
When you say he's 100%, do you mean 100% scripted?
He's 100% confident. Like his
confidently
level,
scripted.
Confidently scripted. But he steps into that like we are victorious conversation without batting an eye. You know, and
he's really good at lying.
If he were to bat an eye, he wouldn't be believable. But he's got that level of like ability to lie.
Right.
On the level of Trump. That's what I'm pointing
to. There's something that we have to point out. Number one, about Pete Buttigieg, especially about his quote-unquote victory and how he was able to, you know, tell people, oh, I won. You didn't win the popular vote, and you're still tied with Sanders with delegates. And
that's a win.
The rest of the precincts, 14% of it has still not been counted in. Here's hoping that we get the full result, the correct result, because as it stands right now, Iowa's a complete mess. In fact, we got a super chat too. A Mayors, hashtag Occupy Milwaukee. I agree with that. Iowa's mad as hell. And then we got another super chat too. Love you guys. Kira's my progressive crush. That's from R. Crooks. And then Schultze 100. Appreciation for the jokes and helping me laugh. Schultze 100. You guys, thank you all for the super chats. But I think what we need to take away from this is that this is going to be an uphill fight for this convention. And if we don't fight, if we don't make ourselves heard, and if we don't show up to vote, if we don't show up to early vote or vote on the day of your said primary, everything is lost. And if we don't show up en masse in Milwaukee, everything is lost. This is the fight. It's not going to be easy. Don't be demoralized. get angry, get upset, because we cannot have Iowa repeat itself. So people in New Hampshire, to all our subscribers in New Hampshire, keep an open eye out for this election fraud, because it can and it possibly could happen. We got to make sure that a victory is done for Sanders and progressive movement.